Welcome back to Superstar Business Models Part 2, 4 more principles for a prosperous coaching and consulting business. So for number 4, I want to share with you a framework that I superimpose on most businesses, on most superstar businesses. So coaching, consulting types of businesses, this works well for everybody. So I think of these businesses in 3 basic parts, these business models. The first is the front end, the second is the breakthrough, and the last is the big back end. The front end of the business is all of the ways that you bring people in to the business. This is really considered marketing, and most of this is probably $0 collected. Like, you're actually oftentimes paying for this, but sometimes if it's, for example, speaking or a low-end entry-level offer, you might be making some money here. But these are things that I consider to be front-end strategies that bring people in. So YouTube is one of my front-end strategies. Speaking is another. Referrals are another. Email marketing is another. These are all ways to get people in the door. The second part of the model is the breakthrough. The breakthrough is where you deliver some sort of juicy outcome. So it's the initial outcome that people want and need in order to move on to the next step, which we'll talk about in a minute. So my breakthrough, and the breakthrough that I specialize in helping other people develop, is a retreat-based breakthrough, a retreat-based model. So in other words, people come into the front end of the business, then they enroll in a 3-day immersion retreat that delivers a juicy outcome. It's a standalone, meaning if people stopped here, they'd be happy, but it also sets them up, because they get this breakthrough, to go into the big back end, which is some sort of mastery program. This is where the longer customer journey happens. And actually, I also sometimes talk about the even bigger back end, which is what happens after, for example, I have a year-long big back end mastery program, and then my even bigger back end, I invite those people to stay for a 2-year program after that. So they stay longer. So the idea is that your business, I'd like to see you look at your business and identify, okay, what's the breakthrough that people can get where they get a juicy outcome really quick? And then what is the big back end where there's some sort of mastery? Now, if you're in my Superstar Business Breakthrough program, or even if you're not, this will apply to you too, I like a price point here of anywhere from about $2,000 to $5,000. That's where I like to see breakthrough programs start. Some people can charge a lot more, some people can charge less, but I find that this is a really good sweet spot. And then my recommendation is that the mastery program be about 4 times to 6 times that breakthrough program. So if your program is $2,000, then the mastery program would be $8,000 to $10,000 or $12,000, right? So that's kind of the breakdown. And then I personally, my even bigger back end is a smaller per month commitment, but it's a little bit less than twice what the mastery level commitment is. So let's pretend the mastery level is 10, then this one would be, 2 times 10 would be 20, so a little bit less than 20, so maybe 18 or 16 or something like that. Now, before I move on to number 5, principle number 5, I want to invite you to take a moment to like my video, subscribe to my channel, and maybe even post a comment below. Let's keep going. So the 5th thing I want you to consider as you're developing your business model is your pricing. Specifically, that we focus on boutique pricing versus mass market pricing. So a quick overview of what I mean by this. Here's a price value matrix. So here on the horizontal axis, I've plotted P for price, and here I'm plotting V for value. Now this is a quick and dirty thing. It's not really, I don't know if it's scientifically proven, but you'll decide for yourself if it makes sense. I think it does. Here on the upper half of the chart, we're looking at high value. Here we're looking at low value, or perceived value, perceived by the client. Here we're looking at high price point. Here we're looking at low price point. Now I get that these markers are kind of arbitrary. What's the differential between high and low and all that? Just ignore that for a moment and play along. So let's imagine we're talking about shoes, one of my favorite topics or one of my favorite things to shop for. In the world of shoes, we've got shoes that are high value and high price over here. We've got shoes that are low price but high value over here. Low price, low value, high price. Let's start over here. Low price, high value shoes. What would those be? Well, those would be mass market produced shoes that don't cost very much, but that are very useful or that you have a high perceived value. For me personally, some shoes that fall into this category are Crocs, Vans, flip-flops. Well, maybe not flip-flops so much. We'll leave it there. But you get the idea. These don't cost very much, but you use them a lot. You love them. Oh, maybe Uggs are over here. They're kind of in between low price and high price, but I wear them every single day. And now we start to move over into this category of high value, high price. Now over here, my absolutely most expensive, most high value shoes are my Christian Louboutins. You may remember those because they have the red sole. Probably should have written that in red. You've got your Betsy Johnson, you've got your Cole Haan, right? Your Stuart Weitzman. These are expensive shoes that are high value, they're made in Italy, they're leather, they're handmade, like all of that. Now you've got over here, I'm gonna put this in red because it's really important that we not do this. You've got your high price, low value. That's when you buy a really fancy pair of shoes and then they fall apart. We wanna stay away from this area of the price value matrix because you create haters, you create complainers. Like this is not gonna get you any fans. And then we want to stay away from this part of the matrix because there's really no money in it, especially if you're a superstar. Now I'm using shoes for an example, but I'm talking about a coaching or consulting business, right? So the equivalent over here would be really low pricing and really low value to your clients. You don't want to be there. The only two places you might want to be in your business are in these two areas. But something to understand here is that this here is really a mass market model. You have to produce a lot and create a lot of volume to make a lot of money here. And if you're competing on price, chances are you're in this mass market model, and that's going to be really stressful because in order to produce more, you've got to spend more what? Time and effort. And we just talked about the fact that we're trying to monetize your magic, not your time and effort. So when you're building your business model, it behooves you to figure out a way to stay in what I call the profit quadrant of the matrix. And the profit quadrant is by having high price, high value. It's about competing at the top level of your offerings, at the top level of your industry rather than down here. Now, this can be really challenging for some people to charge more and to go up higher. And so the way to do that, which I'll touch on now, I'm not going to go deep into, is to really focus on this piece first. Like really focusing on getting that value up, even if it's just conceptually, so that when you go to charge the higher price points, you feel good about it. And another thing you want to do is really focus on getting case studies that illustrate your value so that then you can justify the high price. Number 6 is leverage. The sixth thing to think about for a great business model for a superstar is leveraging, and there are 3 ways to leverage, but first I'm going to tell you what leverage even means. Think about leverage as a way to create more outcomes with less inputs. So I like to use the example of a steering wheel in a car. A car's power steering system is a leverage system that allows you to put small little inputs, moving something a half of an inch, and move a big old car several feet in another direction, right? You couldn't push a car with all of your might. You probably couldn't push a car, but you can move it with a steering wheel because there's leverage built into that power steering system. It's much the same with business. Now, there are 3 key aspects to find leverage. One is leveraging your time, leveraging technology, or leveraging team. When you leverage time, that means that you create something one time and you're able to use it multiple times. Like this video. I'm creating this video with all my content in it one time, and I get to repurpose it and send it out into the world and use it for multiple purposes. I'm using it for my Superstar Business Breakthrough Retreat program, using it as marketing in my YouTube channel, That's leveraging time. It's also an example, by the way, of leveraging technology. So like email marketing is a way to leverage technology. You write one email and you're able to send it to thousands of people. And finally, leveraging team. It's a way of you creating something and then having somebody else replicate it, or having somebody else scale it, or having somebody else take it further. Another thing you can do is delegate and offload things that you would normally do to someone else. That helps you leverage your time by having somebody else do it. So looking in your business model, are you leveraging time? Are you leveraging technology? Are you leveraging team? And one thing I love to talk about, and I'm not going to dive deeper into here, is repurposing. So for example, whenever I do one of these YouTube videos, guess what? I take the transcript of the YouTube video, turn it into a blog post, turn it into an email blast, put it up on LinkedIn, take pieces out of it, and throw it up on different social medias. That's repurposing. I'm leveraging both my time and technology, and actually I'm leveraging my team because my assistant is the one that pulls the original transcript. Last but not least, the seventh thing to think about as you're building a new business model is the big vision. And what I invite you to do is a little fun exercise where you go ahead and think about what it is your vision is. Go ahead and do that. You might want to put me on pause and come up with your vision, whether that's a monetary vision or a level of impact vision. And then come back here and take that vision and multiply it by 10. What would it look 10 times bigger? And that can be a difficult exercise. And then once you've done it, I want you to look at what would it look like 100 times bigger, and 1,000 times bigger, maybe even 10,000 times bigger. The idea is just to help you stretch your imagination into new realms. I'm not saying you necessarily will do it at the 10,000 times bigger level, but what does it look like each time to go even more? And for this exercise, you might want to bring in some support. This is an exercise I sometimes do with my own clients to help them stretch their imagination. But it's helpful to work with someone who has a big vision of their own rather than going to, say, your dad who thinks you should still be in your steady paycheck paying job, right? So surround yourself with other people with big vision. Allow that to help you call yourself forward into something bigger, and just dream bigger. Now, if you're looking for some support in that and you're looking for a mentor who can help you think bigger, maybe I'm somebody that can help you out. Go to superstarbusinessbreakthrough.com if you'd like to do more work like this with me, and if you maybe want to attend one of our retreats. And if you're already enrolled in one of our retreats, I'm so excited to see you.